Walk into any casino and you're surrounded by hundreds of slot machines competing for your attention with bright lights, oversized screens, and the promise of life-changing jackpots. But according to former casino employees, there are 9 machines sitting on those floors that casinos quietly hope you'll walk straight past without ever noticing. These machines aren't flashy or heavily advertised, and they're rarely placed in the center of the casino floor, and that design choice is completely intentional. Former slot technicians have explained that these machines operate on mathematical structures and payout patterns that don't extract money from players as efficiently as casinos would prefer over the long term. In this video, we're going to break down what insiders have revealed, how these machines actually work behind the scenes, and why casinos would much rather see you playing almost anything else. One of these machines was involved in a win so unusual that the casino actually tried to claim the machine malfunctioned, but we'll get to that story later. Let's start with the first machine on our list. Machine number 1, Red, White, and Blue. Let's start with Red, White, and Blue, one of the most recognizable slot machines in casino history. This is a classic 3-reel, single-line game with the patriotic red, white, and blue 7 symbols. It looks simple. It looks dated. It looks like the kind of machine your grandmother would play. According to former casino employees, Red, White, and Blue is one of the most player-friendly machines you can possibly sit down at, and the reason comes down to one critical element: transparency. Former slot technicians have revealed that these machines typically operate with what's known as true odds, programming from an earlier era of slot design. Unlike modern video slots that can manipulate real weighting and near-miss displays, Red, White, and Blue uses mechanical principles that make the actual probability of outcomes much more straightforward. Industry reports suggest that in properly regulated markets, these machines often return between 92 and 95%, several points higher than many flashy modern alternatives. Now you might be thinking, why would casinos keep a machine with better odds? Here's what former casino workers explain. Casinos keep Red, White, and Blue because removing it would raise questions, but they absolutely don't promote it. It's a simple, old-school design. There are no confusing bonus rounds, no complicated pay tables, no video screens. It looks boring compared to everything around it, so most players walk right past. But that simplicity is exactly why informed players seek it out. Former employees have stated that IGT, the company that manufactures Red, White, and Blue, designed this machine in an era when player trust and fairness were more important than psychological manipulation. These machines were built to be straightforward, and that straightforwardness means the math is more favorable than newer designs. Reports from former slot managers indicate that Red, White, and Blue machines are often placed in out-of-the-way locations precisely because casinos don't want to promote them. Near quiet corners away from main walkways, in sections of the casino floor that see less traffic. The machine isn't flashy or loud, so it doesn't attract younger players or high rollers. It quietly sits there, offering better long-term value to anyone who understands what they're looking at. Former casino workers have also revealed that the top jackpot on Red, White, and Blue, while requiring 3 Red, White, and Blue 7 symbols in order, actually has more transparent odds than many modern machines. The probability is clearly defined in the mechanical reel structure, approximately 1 in 262,000 spins, but unlike computerized slots, there's no hidden weighting or artificial near-miss programming. What you see is what you get. Another thing is that Red, White, and Blue can't be adjusted as easily as video slots. In Nevada, for example, changing the payout percentage on a mechanical slot requires physically opening the machine and changing components. This creates a paper trail and regulatory oversight that doesn't exist with downloadable video slot configurations. Former employees have stated that Red, White, and Blue machines often maintain their factory settings precisely because casinos can't quietly adjust them downward the way they can with modern games. The psychology here actually works against the casino. You're playing a machine that looks boring and outdated, but former workers say it's actually one of the most honest games on the floor. The simplicity that makes it unappealing is the exact reason it offers better long-term value. But here's the thing that former employees find fascinating. There's a machine on our list that takes everything Red, White, and Blue does well and adds something unexpected. multipliers that actually work in your favor. We'll get to that in a minute, but first, there's a modern game that casinos really don't want you to understand. Machine number 2, Thunder Cash. This is a modern video slot that former casino employees specifically mention as being more player-friendly than casinos would prefer. Thunder Cash is part of a series of games that use a hold and spin bonus feature, and according to insiders, this feature offers more transparent value than the hold and spin variants that came after it. Here's how Thunder Cash works. During normal play, you're trying to land 6 or more special coin symbols on the screen. When you do, you trigger the hold and spin bonus. The coins lock in place, you get 3 rest spins, and every time you land another coin, the rest spin counter resets to 3. The goal is to fill the entire screen with coins for a grand jackpot. Sounds standard, right? Quick question, have you ever hit a big win on a machine you almost didn't play at all? If so, drop a comment and consider subscribing. Former casino workers explain why this early implementation is actually beneficial for players. The hold and spin bonus in Thunder Cash was designed during the feature's first generation, before casinos fully optimized the mathematics for maximum profit. The trigger frequency is reasonable, the coin values are more generous, and the grand jackpot is more attainable than in later versions. Former employees point out that the key advantage of Thunder Cash is its transparency. The bonus mechanic is straightforward. You can see exactly what you need to achieve the grand jackpot. There's no hidden weighting, no mysterious multipliers that only trigger under specific undisclosed conditions. What you see on the screen is genuinely what you're working toward. Former slot technicians have revealed that Thunder Cash machines maintain RTP percentages in the 93 to 95% range in most jurisdictions. This is notably higher than the 88 to 91% that became standard for later hold and spin implementations. Industry insiders attribute this to Thunder Cash being an early mover in the mechanic, before profit optimization became more aggressive. Reports from former casino employees indicate that the grand jackpot on Thunder Cash, while requiring all 15 positions to be filled, has more favorable probability weighting than subsequent games using similar mechanics. The random number generator programming, according to former techs who've analyzed the math, gives players legitimate chances at the top prize when they trigger the bonus with strong initial coin placement. Another thing insiders highlight is the base game on Thunder Cash. While you're waiting to trigger the hold and spin feature, you're playing a video slot that actually provides reasonable small wins to sustain your bankroll. Former employees have explained that early hold and spin games like Thunder Cash still retain some base game value because manufacturers hadn't yet shifted all the return into the bonus features. Former casino workers have also revealed that Thunder Cash machines are often set to mid-level denominations that offer good value. Unlike newer games that push players toward higher minimum bets, Thunder Cash is available at reasonable betting levels that allow proper bankroll management. The typical minimum bet structure gives players more spins per dollar than competing modern alternatives. Insiders have stated that Thunder Cash represents an early generation of feature-based slots before the industry fully optimized these mechanics for casino profit. The hold and spin triggers at reasonable frequencies, the payouts during the bonus are fair, and the grand jackpot has legitimate attainability. Former employees note that casinos would prefer you play newer hold and spin variants that look similar but have significantly worse mathematics. Now, Thunder Cash is good, but there's another hold and spin machine on our list that adds progressive jackpots to this already favorable formula. But before we get there, you need to understand why one particular classic machine makes casino managers nervous every time someone sits down at it. Machine number 3, Top Dollar. This one is interesting because it's an older game that represents a specific philosophy of slot machine design that heavily favored player transparency. Top Dollar is a 3-reel mechanical slot with a single pay line and a top jackpot that requires you to bet maximum coins. The game features dollar sign symbols, and lining up $3 signs on the pay line with max bet can win you the top prize, which is usually several $1,000s depending on the denomination. So what's the advantage? Former casino workers explain that Top Dollar is one of the most mathematically transparent machines on the floor. Everything about the game is visible and verifiable. There are 3 mechanical reels, 1 pay line, and clearly defined symbols. There's no hidden programming, no complex video algorithms, no mysterious bonus triggers. Former slot technicians have revealed that top dollar machines typically operate with RTP percentages in the 94 to 96% range when properly regulated, significantly higher than most modern video slots. The reason casinos can't easily adjust these machines downward is the mechanical nature of the design. Changing payout percentages requires physical reel replacement and regulatory documentation. The reason Top Dollar offers better value, according to former employees, is precisely because it targets a specific type of player, someone who wants simple, transparent gameplay without tricks or manipulation. These players know what they're getting. They can calculate the odds by looking at the reel strips. The casino can't hide anything because everything is mechanical and visible. Former workers have stated that the top jackpot on Top Dollar, while advertised as several $1,000s, has clearly defined an honest probability. The odds of hitting $3 signs on MaxBet are straightforward, determined by the physical reel configuration. Unlike video slots where the displayed reels don't match the actual probability, Top Dollar shows you exactly what you're playing. Meanwhile, according to reports from former employees, the base game on Top Dollar provides honest small wins based on pure mechanical probability. You'll hit standard combinations at rates that match the physical reel design. Former slot technicians describe Top Dollar as a what you see is what you get machine. The outcomes are determined by actual physical mechanics, not computer algorithms designed to maximize profit. Another thing insiders highlight is the denomination transparency. Top Dollar machines clearly display their denomination, quarter, dollar, or $5 versions, and the MaxBet requirement is explicitly stated. Unlike modern video slots that obscure total bet amounts across multiple pay lines, Top Dollar tells you exactly what you're wagering, 3 coins per spin at the displayed denomination. Former casino workers have also revealed that Top Dollar machines are frequently placed in high-limit areas, not because casinos love them, but because that's the only way to justify keeping mechanical games on the floor. By putting them in premium areas with higher denomination players, casinos can maintain appearances while hoping most players gravitate toward more profitable video alternatives. Former employees have stated that Top Dollar represents an era before computerized slots allowed casinos to manipulate probability in ways players can't see. The mechanical design enforces fairness because there's nothing to hide. The reels are physical, the probability is determined by physical stops, and regulatory oversight requires transparency. Insiders have also pointed out that Top Dollar machines often maintain their original payout configurations simply because adjusting them is difficult and creates regulatory documentation. Casinos would need to physically modify the machines and file paperwork, which means Top Dollar often retains whatever favorable settings it was installed with, sometimes for years or decades. But here's something a former slot manager told us that really puts this in perspective. In 2019, a player in Atlantic City hit the Top Dollar jackpot 3 times in one evening, walking away with over $47,000. The casino immediately pulled the machine for inspection, convinced something was wrong. After 2 weeks of testing and regulatory review, they found nothing. The machine was working exactly as designed. The player had just gotten legitimately lucky on a machine with honest odds. The casino quietly put it back on the floor, but moved it to the farthest corner they could find. That story actually connects to something important about the next machine we need to discuss, but we'll circle back to that. First, there's a modern video slot that uses Asian-themed drums and offers something casinos absolutely hate: predictable bonus triggers. Machine number 4, dancing drums. This one is completely different from what we've talked about so far. Dancing Drums is a modern video slot with an Asian theme, featuring drums, gold coins, and a bonus system that can lead to massive multipliers. It looks loud and colorful, but it's not as heavily promoted as you might expect. So what's the advantage? According to former casino employees, Dancing Drums is what's known in the industry as a high-variance machine, and that volatility actually works in favor of educated players who understand bankroll management. Here's what former slot technicians explain. Dancing Drums has a feature called the Foo Babies Jackpot Bonus, where you pick from different drums to reveal prizes and multipliers. When you trigger this bonus, the potential payouts are significant. The music ramps up, the animations are engaging, and if you know what you're doing, the math can work in your favor. Former employees have revealed that the RTP on dancing drums, when played at optimal betting levels, can reach 94 to 96% in many jurisdictions, significantly better than most themed video slots. The machine is designed to give you reasonable access to the bonus round. You might trigger it once every 50 or 60 spins, which is more frequent than many competing games. This keeps variance manageable while still offering significant upside. Former casino workers have stated that dancing drums represents a transition era in slot design, where manufacturers were still balancing player experience with casino profit, resulting in more favorable mathematics than current generation machines. Former casino employees have noted that dancing drums is particularly valuable for players who understand variance. The bonus triggers frequently enough to sustain play, and when larger multipliers hit, the payouts can be substantial. Internal data suggests that informed players who manage their bankroll properly can have longer play sessions per dollar compared to newer, flashier alternatives. This is what former employees mean by smart volatility. The machine gives you legitimate chances at meaningful wins. Sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, but over time the math is more favorable than most modern competitors. Reports from insiders indicate that dancing drums, in many configurations, offers return-to-player percentages in the 94 to 96% range, notably better than the 88 to 90% common on newer licensed games. Another thing former casino workers point out about dancing drums is the betting structure. While the minimum bet might be 88 cents and the machine uses multiples of 88 for the Asian theme, this actually creates transparency. The betting increments are clear and predictable, unlike newer machines that disguise total bet amounts across dozens of pay lines. Former employees appreciate that dancing drums tells you exactly what you're wagering. Former slot techs have also revealed that dancing drums machines, while placed in visible areas, are never positioned in the most premium spots. Casinos put their most profitable machines in the highest traffic locations. Dancing drums gets decent placement, but it's not in the prime real estate that newer, tighter games receive. This strategic positioning suggests casinos know it's less profitable per square foot. Insiders have stated that players on dancing drums who understand the game's volatility can optimize their play in ways that aren't possible on more opaque modern machines. The bonus frequency is predictable, the multipliers are clearly defined, and the overall math is from an era before maximum profit optimization became the industry standard. But dancing drums isn't the only modern machine that offers favorable math from an earlier design era. Remember when I mentioned a machine that combines hold and spin mechanics with progressive jackpots? That's coming up soon, but first, we need to talk about two machines that are so similar, casinos wish players knew the subtle difference between them. Machine number 5, Triple Diamond. Another classic game that former casino employees specifically call out for its player-friendly characteristics. Triple Diamond is made by IGT, the same company that makes Red, White, and Blue, and according to insiders, it shares many of the same transparency advantages. Triple Diamond is a three-reel, three-line slot machine featuring diamond symbols. The diamond acts as a wild multiplier, meaning it can substitute for other symbols and multiply your win. Hit one diamond in a winning combination and your payout is multiplied by 3. Hit 2 diamonds and it's multiplied by 9. This straightforward multiplier system is actually more favorable than it first appears. According to former slot technicians, triple diamond machines are programmed with what's known as honest multipliers. That means when you hit a diamond in a winning combination, the multiplier genuinely enhances your payout without hidden reductions elsewhere. Former employees explain that this design philosophy from the early 2000s created more balanced mathematics than current generation games. Former employees have revealed that Triple Diamond typically operates with return-to-player percentages in the 92 to 94% range in regulated markets. This is several points higher than many newer multi-line video slots that appear similar but have more aggressive profit optimization. The Diamond Multiplier isn't just marketing, it actually improves your expected return. Reports from former casino workers indicate that Triple Diamond offers something valuable that modern slots often don't: predictable variance. Because it's a three-line game with straightforward mechanics, you can estimate your hit frequency and expected losses over time. There are no surprise mechanics, no hidden bonus requirements, no mysterious progressive triggers. What you see is genuinely what you get. Former employees have also stated that Triple Diamond machines are often placed in comfortable, low-pressure areas of the casino, specifically because they appeal to players who prioritize value over excitement. Near quiet seating areas, away from the chaos of the main floor, positioned for players who know what they want. Casinos don't promote these machines because they'd rather have those same players at flashier, less favorable games. Another thing insiders emphasize is the betting structure. Triple Diamond requires you to bet all three lines, which means your total wager is transparent. You're betting 3 times the line amount, and the machine clearly shows your total bet. This transparency is actually beneficial. Unlike modern 243 ways or 1024 ways games, where bet calculations become deliberately confusing. Former casino employees have revealed that Triple Diamond is one of those machines that maintains strong value precisely because it looks outdated. Players seeking the newest graphics and features walk right past it, but those who understand slot mathematics recognize that the older design often means better RTP and more transparent gameplay. Former slot managers have also stated that Triple Diamond machines often have minimum bet options that provide excellent value. You can bet 75 cents or $1 per spin and play a game with better mathematics than $1.50 or $2 minimums on newer machines. The lower minimums combined with better RTP means your bankroll lasts significantly longer. Insiders note that Triple Diamond represents mid-2000s slot design philosophy, where games still needed to offer reasonable player value to remain competitive. Before the industry consolidated and player choice became more limited, machines like Triple Diamond had to maintain honest mathematics. That legacy continues even as casinos wish players would choose newer alternatives. Now, Triple Diamond is good, but its predecessor is even better. And that brings us to the machine that casinos really wish would just disappear from their floors entirely. Machine number 6, Double Diamond. This is essentially Triple Diamond's predecessor. Made by the same company, it's even more stripped down and transparent. Double Diamond is a single-line, 3-reel slot with diamond symbols that act as multipliers, just like Triple Diamond. According to former casino employees, Double Diamond is actually one of the most player-favorable machines you can find, specifically because of its extreme simplicity and mechanical transparency. Former slot technicians have revealed that Double Diamond machines, in properly regulated jurisdictions, often operate with return-to-player percentages in the 94 to 97% range. This is exceptionally high for any slot machine, and the reason is straightforward. Double Diamond was designed in an era when casinos still needed to compete on fairness to maintain player trust. The reason Double Diamond offers such value, according to former workers, is that it can't hide anything. Single pay. Line 3 mechanical or simple video reels, transparent diamond multipliers. There's nowhere in the game design to bury aggressive profit optimization. The mathematics are exposed for anyone who understands basic probability. Former employees have stated that Double Diamond machines are often placed in sections of the casino deliberately designed to feel outdated and uninteresting. They're grouped with other classic slots in areas that younger players ignore completely. This isn't accidental. Casinos would prefer these machines were invisible because they offer too much value compared to modern alternatives. Reports from former casino workers indicate that Double Diamond has what informed players call honest volatility. Yes, you'll have losing streaks. Yes, you'll go multiple spins without hits. But when wins come, they're calculated fairly based on transparent mechanical or early video probability. There's no artificial near-miss programming, no hidden weighting to make you think you're closer to winning than you are. Former slot technicians have also revealed that the top jackpot on Double Diamond, which requires 3 Double Diamond symbols on the pay line with max bet, has clearly defined probability that matches what the physical or visual reel display suggests. Unlike modern video slots where displayed reels are decorative and actual probability is hidden in the software, Double Diamond shows honest, real positions. Another thing former employees emphasize is that Double Diamond's simplicity prevents the kind of player confusion that casinos profit from. You know exactly what you're betting, you know exactly what you need to win, you know exactly what each combination pays. This transparency is why casinos would rather you play anything else. Former workers have also noted that Double Diamond machines often maintain their original payout settings for years, simply because there's no business reason to adjust them and create the documentation required. For changes, the machines sit quietly, offering above-average value, while the casino focuses promotional efforts on newer, less favorable games. Insiders have also pointed out denomination clarity. Double Diamond comes in clearly labeled quarter, dollar, and $5 versions. Unlike modern machines where denomination and bet multipliers can be confusing, Double Diamond tells you exactly what you're playing. This prevents the kind of costly mistakes that casinos profit from when players accidentally wager more than intended. Former casino employees have revealed that Double Diamond, like Red, White, and Blue and other classics, is part of what they call legacy transparency. These machines were built when casinos couldn't get away with the kind of mathematical manipulation that's now standard. They remain on floors offering better value, while casinos desperately hope you'll ignore them in favor of flashier alternatives. So we've covered 7 machines now, but we still haven't talked about that hold and spin game with progressive jackpots. And we definitely haven't discussed the massive progressive machine that's created more millionaires than any other system in casino history. Those are coming. But first, there's one branded game that completely changed the industry, and the original version is still quietly offering better odds than casinos want you to know about. Machine number 7, Wheel of Fortune. This is where things get really interesting. Wheel of Fortune is one of the most popular slot machines in the world. It's based on the TV game show. It features the iconic wheel that spins when you trigger the bonus, and it's been a casino staple for over 20 years. So why do former casino employees highlight it positively? According to insiders, the original Wheel of Fortune machines, particularly the older mechanical wheel versions, represent an era of licensed slots before profit maximization became the absolute priority. First, let's talk about why these older versions are favorable. Former casino workers have explained that the first-generation Wheel of Fortune machines were designed when IGT was establishing the licensed slot category. To prove the concept and build player trust, these early machines needed to offer genuine value. Former slot technicians have revealed that original Wheel of Fortune machines operate with RTP percentages in the 92 to 94% range, better than most current licensed games. But the real advantage, according to former employees, is the mechanical wheel itself. When you trigger the wheel bonus on these older machines, the physical wheel at the top actually spins using mechanical components. While the outcome is still determined by RNG, the physical mechanics create constraints that prevent the kind of aggressive weighting found in purely digital implementations. The wheel has to stop on real physical positions, which enforces more honest probability distribution. Former workers have stated that the wheel bonus on first-generation machines provides better value than players realize. While the wheel features various prize amounts, the distribution of outcomes is more balanced than later digital versions. Former employees have revealed that IGT's original Wheel of Fortune design allocated more of the return to the wheel bonus than subsequent implementations, making the feature genuinely valuable. Reports from former casino employees indicate that original Wheel of Fortune machines also provided decent base game value. Unlike newer versions where almost all return is concentrated in the wheel bonus, early versions maintained reasonable base game hit frequency to keep players engaged. This older design philosophy creates better overall value per hour of play. Another thing insiders emphasize is that the bet structure on early Wheel of Fortune machines is more transparent than modern multi-line games. While they do feature multiple pay lines, the original versions clearly display total bet amounts and don't use the confusing 243 ways or 1024 ways structures that obscure what you're actually wagering. Former casino workers have also revealed that original Wheel of Fortune machines, the ones with actual mechanical wheels, are becoming increasingly rare on casino floors. Casinos have been quietly replacing them with newer digital versions that look similar but have less favorable mathematics. If you find an older machine with a physical wheel mechanism, former employees suggest that's a game worth considering. Insiders have stated that the Wheel of Fortune brand recognition actually works in players' favor on these older machines. Because people seek out the game by name, casinos can't completely remove it from the floor, but they can replace favorable older versions with worse newer versions, and most players won't notice. Finding original mechanical wheel machines means finding better value. Former slot managers have also pointed out that older Wheel of Fortune machines are often placed in less prominent locations now. As casinos introduced newer versions with worse mathematics, they moved the originals to secondary areas. If you're specifically looking for the older, more favorable versions, former employees say to check casino periphery areas rather than main promotional spaces. Insiders note that Wheel of Fortune represents an important lesson. Not all versions of the same branded game are equal. The original mechanical wheel implementations offered better value. Later digital versions shifted mathematics more heavily toward casino profit. Knowing which version you're playing makes a significant difference. And speaking of knowing which version you're playing, remember that hold and spin machine I mentioned that adds progressive jackpots? We're finally getting there. But what you need to understand first is how casinos manipulate progressive systems, because that makes what this next machine does so unusual. Machine number 8, Dollar Storm. According to former casino employees, this machine shares Thunder Cash's hold and spin foundation while adding progressive jackpots that are actually more achievable than most players realize. Dollar Storm uses a similar hold and spin mechanic, but it also features 4 different progressive jackpots: mini, minor, major, and grand. These jackpots are displayed prominently above the machine, constantly increasing as people play. Former workers explain that these progressive displays are from an earlier era of linked games, before casinos learned how to maximize profit while minimizing payout frequency. Here's what former slot technicians have revealed about Dollar Storm. The progressive jackpots, particularly the minor and major, trigger with reasonable frequency compared to newer progressive systems. To have a chance at any jackpot, you trigger the hold and spin bonus and collect special jackpot symbols. The mathematics behind this system, according to industry insiders, are more favorable than the progressive mechanics that replaced it. Former employees have stated that Dollar Storm represents a generation of progressives where casinos still needed to demonstrate value to build player trust. The machines had to pay out jackpots frequently enough to maintain interest, which means the probability settings are more generous than current standards. Internal reports suggest the mini and minor jackpots hit with enough regularity to provide genuine value. Former casino workers have also pointed out that Dollar Storm machines, despite their progressive features, don't require the extreme bet levels that newer progressives demand. The minimum bet is typically $2 to $3 per spin, which is reasonable for a progressive game. More importantly, the hold and spin feature doesn't discriminate heavily based on bet size. You have legitimate chances at jackpots even at minimum bet. Reports from insiders indicate that the base game on Dollar Storm, while focused on triggering the bonus, still provides enough small wins to make play sustainable. Former employees described this as old-school progressive design, where the base game wasn't completely stripped of value to fund the jackpots. You're playing a game that still pays out regularly while building toward bigger prizes. Another thing former workers emphasize is that Dollar Storm's progressive jackpots are funded at rates that benefit players. The percentage of each bet that goes toward the progressives is higher than many newer systems, which means the jackpots grow faster and trigger more frequently. Former slot managers have noted that casinos quietly moved away from this funding model precisely because it was too favorable to players. Former employees have revealed that Dollar Storm machines are often placed in banks of 4 or 6 specifically because casinos need the shared progressive display to justify keeping them on the floor. When someone wins a minor or major jackpot, everyone sees it, which creates enough excitement to maintain the game's presence. But casinos would prefer these machines were invisible compared to the newer progressives that offer worse player value. Former slot technicians have also stated that Dollar Storm's hold and spin bonus has better coin value distribution than later implementations. The individual coin values during the bonus, combined with the progressive potential, create a mathematical structure where informed players can actually sustain bankroll longer than on competing machines. Insiders note that casinos maintain dollar storm machines primarily because removing them would make the shift toward worse progressive mathematics too obvious. The games sit on the floor offering better value, while newer alternatives with flashier graphics and worse odds get all the promotional attention. Now, Dollar Storm is impressive, but it's not the most famous progressive on our list. There's one more machine we need to talk about, and it's the one that created the entire category of life-changing casino jackpots. But before we get there, I need to tell you about that malfunction story I mentioned at the beginning. Machine number 9, Megabucks. Finally, we come to machine number 9, Megabucks. This is the big one. Megabucks is a progressive slot machine that links casinos across entire states, creating jackpots that regularly reach $10 million or more. It's the machine everyone dreams about. Hit that jackpot and your life changes forever. According to former casino employees, the original Megabucks design actually offers something unique: the best probability to jackpot size ratio of any wide area progressive system ever created. First, let's talk about perspective. Former slot technicians have revealed that Megabucks, while famous for its 1 in 50 million jackpot odds, actually represents more favorable mathematics than most players realize when compared to similar progressive systems. The key is understanding what you're getting for those odds. Former employees explain that Megabucks was designed in the 1980s when wide area progressives were new, to build trust and create the hits needed to sustain interest. IGT programmed Megabucks with jackpot probability that was actually achievable. Yes, 1 in 50 million is astronomical, but former workers point out that Megabucks has created dozens of millionaires since its introduction, far more than newer progressive systems with similar jackpot sizes. But here's what former employees really want you to understand. Megabucks maintains a more honest base game structure than modern wide-area progressives. Industry reports suggest that Megabucks operates with RTP percentages around 89 to 91% in Nevada. While that's lower than non-progressive games, it's actually competitive or better than many newer progressive systems that advertise similar jackpots. Former casino workers have stated that Megabucks represents a specific value proposition. You're playing for a life-changing jackpot with probability that, while low, is more transparent and achievable than lottery odds or newer Mega progressive alternatives. The base game provides enough small wins to sustain reasonable play sessions, something that newer progressives often sacrifice completely. Reports from former employees indicate that Megabucks has paid out its top jackpot with more frequency than any comparable progressive system in casino history. While 50 million to 1 sounds impossible, the system has actually created winners consistently over decades. Former slot managers note that this track record of real jackpots is something newer systems can't match. Another critical point that former casino employees emphasize is the bet requirement transparency. Megabucks requires $3 max bet to qualify for the jackpot, and this requirement is clearly stated on every machine. Unlike some newer progressives that bury qualification requirements in complex rules, Megabucks tells you exactly what you need to bet. This transparency prevents the costly mistakes that casinos profit from. Former employees have also revealed an important detail about Megabucks jackpots. While paid as annuities over 25 years, the structure is actually more favorable than most players realize. The present value, even after accounting for taxes and time value of money, represents legitimate multi-million-dollar wealth, far more than most people will accumulate through traditional means. Insiders have stated that Megabucks is essentially the most honest implementation of the lottery dream that exists in casinos. You're paying for a legitimate chance at generational wealth, and the underlying mathematics are more transparent than any lottery system and more proven than newer casino progressive alternatives. Former slot managers have revealed that Megabucks machines are placed in highly visible locations precisely because the system needs volume to fund the progressive. But this visibility shouldn't be confused with aggressive promotion of newer games. Megabucks sits there as a legacy system with established mathematics, while casinos heavily promote newer progressives with worse odds and less proven payout histories. Reports from former workers also indicate that Megabucks represents an important benchmark. It's the progressive system that all others are measured against, and in many cases the original remains more favorable than its competitors. The game design is from an era when creating actual winners was necessary to build trust in wide-area progressives. Former casino employees emphasize that Megabucks represents a specific category of informed play. If you're going to chase a massive progressive jackpot anyway, the original Megabucks offers more transparent mathematics and more proven results than newer alternatives that might seem more exciting but actually offer worse value. And now for that story I promised you at the beginning. In 2016, a woman named Katrina Bookman was playing a slot machine, not Megabucks but a newer penny slot, at Resorts World Casino in New York. The screen flashed that she'd won $42.9 million. She took a selfie with the machine. Casino staff congratulated her, but then everything changed. The casino claimed the machine had malfunctioned. They offered her $2.25, the price of a steak dinner, and pointed to fine print on every machine that says, "Malfunction voids all pays and plays." The case went to court. The casino won. Here's why this story matters. That kind of dispute almost never happens with Megabucks or the other 8 machines on our list. These older, more transparent machines were built in an era when malfunction couldn't be used as a catch-all excuse. The mechanical components, the simpler programming, the regulatory oversight, it all creates accountability that newer machines don't have. Former employees have told us that in over 30 years of Megabucks operation, there's never been a successful malfunction claim to void a jackpot. When these machines say you won, you won. That's the power of legacy transparency. So there you have it. 9 slot machines that former casino employees specifically say casinos would rather you ignore. If this changed how you see casinos, hit subscribe for more breakdowns revealing what informed players actually know.